Hello, I'm Falling Forever Upward, and this is part 2 of my Sonic the Hedgehog 2 LP. In this part, it's entirely continued Night Zone. In the last part, I said I was going to try to do one special stage per act. In this part, I kind of say screw that, which is why this part is entirely continued Night Zone. We are going to do 3 special stages this part, 2 in Act 2. It's actually really easy to do special stages in this zone, mainly because this zone is kind of gambling, really. You're just kind of gambling. It's really like a gambling zone, because it's a casino. But it's really easy because you can get rings really easy from the jackpot things. Or there's a lot of rings to scatter around. It's also kind of hard to lose your rings, because there is only one enemy in this zone. There's only one enemy in this zone, and he doesn't really appear often. And he's easy to avoid. Also, the frame rate issues I'm having, I solved that in part 4. I've actually already recorded the entire Let's Play. I just have to commentate all over it. But I do fix that. The problem was I had fraps set to record at 30 FPS, so I changed it up to 60 FPS. My problem with that is that the videos that fraps record are now ridiculously huge, so I kinda gotta delete them more quickly. Casino Night Zone is probably one of the more famous zones of the Sonic series. Mainly because the casino theme is a recurring theme in the Sonic series. You're gonna see this in Sonic 3, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog. Actually, that's kind of... Well, and then the other games too. Also, this one is really colorful. That's probably also why it's famous. And here's special stage 4. Yeah, 4. I'm trying to remember. Special stage isn't that hard. The main problem is the bombs. Also, the special stages do change in color. This one's orange and grayish, kind of tails-like colors. You might have noticed that the special stages in the previous part were a little bit different in color. I can't really comment much on these special stages because there's not a lot that has to be said about them. How about some interesting facts about Sonic 2 instead? Did you know that there was actually a zone missing from Sonic 2? We're missing it, they just cut it after pretty much completing it. It's Hidden Palace Zone. This zone is actually going to reappear in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but it's going to be about really short and looks different. But it's a zone. It's a 1X zone. It's been theorized that the purpose of the zone was you would have to complete it after you collect all the Chaos Emeralds to get a special reward that we'll be getting in part 3. But they decided to cut it. It actually got really far along in development. It was actually one of the first stages they completed for the game. It's in even the earliest betas of the game. Also, another interesting fact is that Sonic 2 is directly built onto Sonic 1. This is seen through the earlier betas of the game, such as the Nick Arcade beta and the... I forgot what it's called, but it's older than Nick Arcade beta. I think it's some Chinese name or something. I forgot what it was called, but... in the earlier versions of the game, especially the Nick Arcade version, it was incredibly apparent that Sonic 2 is based off Sonic 1. For example, in the Nick Arcade beta, Green Hill Zone is actually still in the game. It's screwed up mainly because of the differences in, I believe bit space, I don't know, something like that, between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and Green Hill Zone kind of gets all screwed up. And they actually didn't even change the title screen of the game. And yeah, that's the only enemy in Casino Night Zone. The only way to kill that enemy is to hit it from behind. Or roll into it from behind. Otherwise it blocks your attacks. But even that, for the level select screen in the Nick Arcade beta isn't even changed from Sonic 1. I believe the only zones complete in the Nick Arcade beta they're not complete, but Emerald Hill Zone is complete, sort of. At least playable, but our Emerald Hill Zone, Chemical Plant, Hilltop Zone, and I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it. I don't think Aquatic Ruin is in that one. I don't believe Aquatic Ruin is in the Nick Arcade beta. Maybe it is, but in the Chinese beta, they also has Hidden Palace Zone. Oh yeah, Hidden Palace Zone is in the Nick Arcade beta. That's the zone I was thinking of. Also in the Chinese beta, Hidden Palace Zone is there. There's actually... I'm not sure if you can play for the entire act in either beta. Oh, here's Special Stage 5. Some nice bright colors. At least they're not vomit colored, like they'll be in Special Stage 6, I believe. But in Palace Zone is kind of cut from the game. There's also some other rumored cut zones. Wood Zone, which it's actually in the Chinese beta. Not complete very much, but it's in there. And Desert Zone, which is there was a mock-up cover that featured a desert-like zone. And Snow and Rock Zone, which are kind of more from when Sonic 2 is supposed to be more like Sonic CD, which if you haven't seen Sonic CD, it has time travel. And there's a future, past, and present version of the zones in that game. That Snow and Rock Zone would be like future and past versions of the Desert Zone. But Sonic 2 was so they decided to cut that from Sonic 2 to meet the deadline. And it was all taking Sonic CD, the time travel stuff. I believe I had a little bit of trouble with special stages. The special stage a little bit. The special stage that I have the most trouble with is probably Special Stage 7. That'll be next part. Actually I haven't talked much about Tails. besides he's being a new character, he's supposed to have followed Sonic. Actually, Sonic 2 is supposed to take place on, I believe they call it West Side Island, something like that. This is supposed to be actually Tails' home, I think. And Tails saw Sonic, according to, at least according to the US Mail. Tails found Sonic and he decided to follow Sonic like a stalker. And Sonic just kind of goes along with it. That was how it goes. Probably not, but Tails is 8 years old, I believe, in this game. I'm pretty sure it's like that for the entire series. He's 8 years old. In the cartoons it gets changed. In the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe he's 4.5, and in the Saturday AM cartoon, he's 10. But that's the only instances where they change his age, I believe. I believe I told you that Tails could fly, but if you have a second person playing, which you can do, Sonic 2 does have multiplayer and all in single player. You can hook up a second Genesis controller and have somebody else control Tails, which is why in special stages the ring controls are higher if you have both Sonic and Tails, because they're kind of assuming that you'll have a second player controlling Tails that's actually competent enough to not do dodge bombs. I believe Tails is actually really useless in this special stage, because I believe I finished it without Tails having kept a single ring at the end. You see the AI fly with Tails, but the second player can't actually make Tails fly. You can't actually make Tails. You actually can go into the options and have Tails be the player the first player is controlling. But even then, Tails still can't fly. I'm not sure if it's because in the multiplayer mode, which this game also has, it's meant to make sure the game isn't broken because Tails can fly. But they don't. Tails can't. You actually can't make Tails fly until Sonic 3. Also, in both I believe I mentioned in Sonic 1, but again in Sonic 2, both Sonic 2 and Sonic 1, there is no saves on the cartridge or any passwords they have for the game. So if you want to quit the game, you have to do it entirely in one run. In Sonic 3, they give you saves. They don't give you saves in Sonic 1 or 2. And level select code in this game is a little bit harder than it was in Sonic 1. The debug code is easier to remember. It's the date the game was released, which I believe is 11/22 or 23, 1992. The spots you use the bumpers to fly up and then you hit them from above. It can be a little bit tricky aiming the bumpers so you can hit them. But overall, the boss isn't that hard. It's definitely not the hardest boss in the game. The hard bosses don't come until the last two. Well, hardest boss in the game is definitely the final boss, like it was in Sonic 1. But the hardest boss, not the final boss, probably the one in the chocolate stuff. Unless you want to cheese it by taking a bunch of hits, but we'll get to that when we get to it. And that's the end of this boss. And it's also the end of Casino Night Zone. This is the end part. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going forever upward. And come back for part 3, please. Please.